Today is 2014 Chevrolet Sonic. We're going to show you the Roadmaster EZ4 Base Plate Kit, part number 523173-4. This is what the Roadmaster base plate looked like when it's installed on our Sonic. Not much really sticking out from the grille, located right here. Here's one of the openings for one of the arms that goes into place. You also have a point here for your safety chains as well. On this side here, pretty much identical. However, you get two points right here to add on your to any type of wiring harness you'd like, either 4-pole, 6-pole, or 7-pole. Now it does come with a bracket for that. However, that's going to be left off for a future upgrade. Okay. Also comes with the hardware, self-tapping screws to put it in place. Okay, this is one of the arms that installs into the base plate, and then your tow bar will connect to here eventually. It has like a keyed interior, so if you push it up like this and push it in and then rotate it, whole assembly locks in position. This way it cannot bounce out or anything, and it's secure. Pretty simple to install, and when you want to remove them, you pull in this simple pin right here, pull it out, rotate it, comes right out. That does require to remove the front fascia to install, and it does require some trimming on the grille as well. Now we'll go ahead and show you how it's installed. Now to install our base plate, we need to go ahead and remove the front fascia. So to do that, let's go ahead and open up the hood. We need to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts using a 10mm socket. Next set of fasteners is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plastic fasteners. All right, take the plastic rivets apart. There's usually a slot where you can put a screwdriver in there and twist it and pop it open. And you go ahead and remove all the rivet. All right, next we need to go ahead and turn our attention to the wheel wells and remove some fasteners there. Probably a good idea to go ahead and turn the front wheel towards the inside as you work on it, get easier access to the fasteners. And then turn the wheel to the other side when you go to the other side of a car. So right now we're looking at the driver's side. Now let's go ahead and remove the 4 Torx head screws. 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here. So we'll use a T20 Torx bit to remove them. There it goes. Okay, driver's side's done for now. Let's go ahead and do the same thing over on the passenger side. Now we'll go ahead and remove some fasteners from underneath the vehicle here on the bottom edge of the bumper. On this side, we'll remove 1, 2, 3 fasteners, and we'll do the same thing over on the passenger side. And we'll still use the same T20 Torx bit for these screws. All right, still underneath here, we remove this bolt, this plastic fastener, and this bolt. For these bolts, we'll use a 13mm socket. Splash shield's loose from underneath. The last screw to remove it is located right here. And this is directly in the center of the vehicle at the bottom of the bumper. Now we need to remove 2 screws here and here. We'll use a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. Now our vehicle has fog lights, so we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the electrical now. Still underneath the vehicle, we'll pull away on this panel right here. Just pull down. Look for electrical plug here. 2 tabs you push in, one on each side, and you can pull it down. That was the driver's side. One more time on the passenger side. Now there's a secondary connection right here we're going to remove as well. All right, down to remove the secondary connector, pull down on this gray section right here, just a little bit. At this point we can go ahead and remove the fascia. We'll pull back on the fender liner a little bit, and we'll go ahead and pull on the fascia here, kind of roll it around a little bit to unsnap it. There you go. There's a little catch right here too, and it should come loose. Now you definitely want an extra set of hands to take this completely off. All right, and on this side here, I got a screwdriver holding this side up until I'm ready to take it off. Okay. All right, now this shroud right here, all has to come off because it'll be in the way of the base plate. So we're gonna remove 2 plastic fasteners here and here on each side. Driver's side's done, do the same thing on the passenger side. All right, with this piece loose, it's still being trapped by this crossbar here as well. This is a lower bumper support, and this gets removed as well. So we'll go ahead and remove that one next. There'll be 1, 2, 3 bolts that we have to remove using a 13mm socket. Definitely helps to have a long extension for this one as well. This is our passenger side. It's the same thing on our driver's side. Now we go ahead and remove our shroud. It actually goes up to the top side of the bumper here. So we're just going to push the end towards the center and underneath and just flex it out. And then we can easily pull out the other side. At this point, we're finally ready to start putting parts back onto the car. Now we have to install the stiffener bracket right here. This will be installed in this location. Kind of got a weird shape to it. Let's go ahead and put it into place just like that. So that's set for now. We'll install 2 4.5-inch long bolts with a flat washer and also some Loctite. Now the thread locker we're using is Loctite part number LT37420. Loctite thread locker 262. So this guy will go from the bottom, then through the top with another flat washer, a lock washer, and a nut. We're just going to run these together, finger tight, but still can move around. Just enough to take up the slack. Do the same thing for next bolt. Some more Loctite. This will go from the top down. Same fasteners. Flat washer, lock washer, and nut. Okay, now let's go ahead and repeat the same process back over on the passenger side. Now we can go ahead and put our base plate on. We'll go ahead and push it in. It's going to wrap around this line right here. Okay, you definitely want to have an extra set of hands help hold it up. And we're going to install the same amount of hardware, except shorter bolts this time. And this will be the shortest of the bolts in the kit. Okay, your bolt with the flat washer. Another flat washer on top. Then a lock washer and a nut. Now make sure when you put this bolt in going towards the back of the vehicle, this one right here, make sure you put a flat washer in between. You may want to put the bolt up there without the washer first to help steady everything. And then once you have it set, then we can go ahead and go back and put the washer back in. Kind of push it into place with a screwdriver. And then we'll install our hardware. Otherwise than that, same flat washer on top, lock washer and nut. We got our driver's side done. Repeat same process over on the passenger side. All right, with all our hardware loosely installed, we'll go ahead and put our lower bumper support back into place. And reinstall the existing hardware. We got one side loosely installed, same thing on the other side. Once they're all installed, we'll tighten them down for good. Now, get your extra set of hands once again. We're going to pull up on the base plate and then pull away from the vehicle to take up all the slack. Now we'll get all our bolts hand tightened. Okay, one side's done. Let's do the other side. And then we'll torque them down as specified in the instructions. For our next hardware, we have to drill out some holes. We use our base plate here as a template to go ahead and drill our first hole here, as our existing hole on the other side that we can use as a pilot hole to enlarge up to a 1/2 inch diameter. The same thing on this side as well. And be careful, you don't want to rub onto this component right here. All right, we got our passenger side done. We're going to do the same thing over on driver's side. Let's go ahead and install our bolt. Once again, with some Loctite and a flat washer. We'll go run it through. All right, and this is a 3.5 inch bolt that we just installed. We'll install just a lock washer on the other side. Okay, driver's side's done. One more time on the passenger side. Now we can tighten these down and torque them down as specified in the instructions. All right, now we can go ahead and start working with the bumper cover and get it ready to install. We'll have to cut out some openings into the grill area right here. We'll also have to work with our ambient temperature sensor right here. We just need to go ahead and poke it out and push it out of the way for now. Now it's connected to a cable underneath, so all I do is just kind of squeeze the little tabs in and just kind of work it back and forth till it pops in. It may help to push one of the tabs in from the side as well, because there's 4 tabs you gotta get loosened up. There. All right, now our instructions tell us to go ahead and trim out from below this line on down. I'm using a paint marker. And then we'll leave this line here and this line here. And we'll take out the rest of the material. We'll do that on both sides and then give it a test fit in case we have to remove some more material. Now I'm going to use a rotary tool to make our cuts. We made our cuts. Let's go ahead and do a quick test fit and make sure everything sits okay. Now at this point, it would also be a good time to go ahead and find a location and make any modifications necessary for your breakaway switch for a supplementary braking system. Now for a breakaway switch, what we're going to do is go ahead and, I think we're going to put it on the passenger side of the vehicle right next to the chain loop right here. It's kind of hard to see, but if we can line up the back edge of a bracket with the back side of a bumper, now put it about in this position right here. Then we take the bumper cover back off and mark and drill our hole. Now again, this is kind of personal preference, but we didn't have really much room to work with, and this side seemed to give us the most room. We can go ahead and remove the fascia, and we'll mark our hole. Next, we'll go ahead and drill out using the 1/4" drill bit. Now we're going to drill through this layer and up through the second layer. That way we have easy access to tighten the hardware down. Now we're using a 1/4" bolt and nut for this. Now this hardware does not come with the kit. We had to outsource from a hardware store. Okay. Now we had to use an extra long jobber bit for this purpose. Plus, this is a hardened material, so you need to go slow as you drill through this. Obviously, we had a hard time getting a straight shot on this, but we could use this hole to our advantage and drill a hole up from here for our second hole through the top. Okay, let's go ahead and put our switch into place. Let's go ahead and put the wires in there for now. We're going to bolt through. It's kind of hard to see, but we're looking down the side of a bumper, and we'll carefully thread on our lock nut, which we're using in this application, onto our bolt. And typically with a 1/4" hardware, you'll need a 7/16 wrench and socket. Okay. If we get too tight, let's go ahead and put it in position. Then we'll tighten it down for good. One last detail and we'll be finished with our breakaway switch is that we'll go ahead and bundle up the wires using some wire loom. Part number 459075-1. We'll go ahead and route those up towards the top of the engine compartment, and we won't have to worry about that anymore. Now we go ahead and put our fascia on, hopefully for the last time. We might have to make one more adjustment for the switch, but ours came out pretty good. So we'll go ahead and reinstall all our fasteners for our bumper cover, starting from the bottom and working our way up. Before we put our final fasteners in on each side, we'll go ahead and make sure our fog lights are plugged back in on both sides. And we'll also reach up and secure our ambient temperature sensor as well. We don't really have much room to route this back up by the tow bar in roughly its original position. So we're just going to safely take our temperature sensor and we're going to zip tie it to a pre-existing wire harness right here. Cut off the tail to our zip tie. We go ahead and continue putting the rest of our vehicle back together. All right, let's go ahead and install our remaining fasteners back up at the top. With all our fasteners back in place, we can close the hood and we're good to go. And now finish it for the Roadmaster EZ4 Base Plate Kit, part number 523173-4 on our 2014 Chevrolet Sonic.